Recently, there has been an increasing rate of leverage of user personal data in media experiences. It began with customization of advertisements to personalization of social media feeds to curating recommendations. Now we see personalization, content tailoring within cutting edge media research like interactive media and adaptive media, which use audience personal data for enhancing, shaping, and even driving the very media experience itself. But what we see here are a number of wider socio-technical challenges that confront the shift towards personal data use. So, what are these challenges? Previous research has identified four key challenges here. First is concern around privacy. The need for effective privacy when it comes to media and communications has been brought into full focus in the wake of recent events such as Cambridge Analytica and the privacy lawsuits raised against the Netflix recommender algorithms. Transparency and control become another challenge here, where it is engaged with on ethical, policy, and technological levels. Third challenge is the lack of accountability, a multidimensional challenge stemming from personal data use in media. Finally, all the aforementioned challenges could impact trust in media experiences. As you can see here, many of these challenges, and particularly responses to them, hail from various disciplines. Hence, there remains a gap in research around holistic, contextualized responses to these challenges in relation to emergent data driven media. Hence, we turn our focus to a user oriented response framework, human data interaction, or HDI, inspired by HCI, which takes into account the multidisciplinary nature of these discussed challenges and proposes holistic responses to them through three core principles: legibility, negotiability, and agency. Legibility is the process of making data interactions, associated inferences, and implications comprehensible. Negotiability for data driven technologies is the possibility of users making data negotiations around their personal data leverage. Agency is the notion of enabling users with the ability to exercise informed control on their personal data. In this work, we present the inclusion of these principles of HDI within the design of a prototype of a new media service proposition that demands substantial amounts of user personal data. But before I introduce this prototype, let's have a quick look at a simplistic representation of how your data is handled by organizations today. Let's say your YouTube app. You might access it through multiple devices at different times, locations, and social scenarios. Data from all of these devices together form a good portion of your media consumption habits. They are stored on the organization's cloud, in this case, YouTube server. They can use, store, reuse, share, and learn about you at their convenience because of the terms and conditions you had accepted prior to using the service. This is a summary of the scenario. Now, let's look at a new and alternative way of media recommendations. Firstly, in your real world, you don't just watch YouTube. You might have a Netflix account, maybe Amazon Prime, Spotify, BBC. Sometimes you feel like recommendations on Netflix are better than on Prime, or maybe the BBC is what you engage with the most. So we propose bringing together the siloed media data to power a cross media profiler where you just connect your favorite music, podcast, and video apps, and it reveals tailored suggestions that takes into account everything you love watching and listening to, not just one app. So this is a whole lot more data, and so we believe the call to be sensitive to the underlying data processing to be even more amplified here. Hence, we provide a personal data store or PDS, a secure place to store your data. If we go back to our summary diagram of data flow and replace it with the real world case of each user engaging with multiple media platforms, here the PDS would come in between the data and the organization. It would manage all data and processing client side. Thus, the CMP is a media content discovery service built on a personal data store that allows the user to link their media profiles and associated data from different digital media platforms. So, how do we design legibility, negotiability, and agency into this prototype? For legibility, we ensured that the language used during the sign up process was simple and accessible. Secondly, information about the data practices were distributed about over different stages of the sign up. Thirdly, a permissions page was designed to communicate key points about the service to the user in a quick and simple manner with minimal text. Negotiability was built into the very core of the CMP through the notion of data linking. Instead of being forced to sign up through their various accounts, users are given the choice to import the data from different media platforms to improve their recommendations. Agency is enabled through the personal data store here. Users have the ability to review and make edits to their data stored client side and processed client side through a media profile interface that presents the data they've imported from various different digital media services. A lightweight onboarding website flow introducing the key concepts discussed here would be used as a research probe for formative and evaluative studies around this service proposition and accompanying data sensitive responses. Thank you.